Hi, my name is Solomon. Welcome to this platform, Tech with Solo. So I want to proceed from where I stopped. This is a continuation of our previous class, which we have talked about data type in Python. So we are moving straight to string and numbers. That is numbers and string. So this video I shall be talking about numbers and string. So you want to know how to use numbers, how to store them in a variable, and also how to use string and store them in a variable, and also how to manipulate string. That means slicing the string so that you can a section of it you can make use of it if there's any need to do that. So stay tuned for this class and let's move right away. So let's move straight to numbers. So I want to deal with numbers, floats, and then also string in this class. So let me talk about numbers first. So let's go to numbers. So I will use Python shell. I'll still use Python IDE later, like PyCharm, but let me use Python shell. So if you use Python shell, just type shell Python, just type Python here, Python shell. You will see Python shell or any of them, this one. So search for it, and then so just to test run and do some basic operations. That's why I'm using this shell. Okay, now I will zoom it big. Let me zoom it big, and so that you can see it very clearly. Yeah, okay. Let me look at fonts and then take 28 so that it's big enough. So for instance, the name of your variable x, let's assume that's x, or I can say numbers. Let me just call it number data. I can call it number data, for instance. So that's my variable name that's going to store values. So the first value I want to store, they are numbers. So let's say 5. So this one is read to 5. So 5 is a number. So the kind of data type is number. Understand? So I store it in a variable container called number data. You use that equals to. That equals to is called assignment operator. You are assigning 5 into number data. You assign 5 into that memory space called number data. Is that clear now? So let me just call it another one again. Let me just say number data 1. Okay, let me store 6 here. So you can now do operations with it, like you can do arithmetic operations like addition. So if I say give me what is stored in number data, now you see what it's going to give me 5. Then if I say give me what is stored in number data 1, now it's going to give me 6. If I say okay, what is stored in number data plus what is stored in number data 1, what is the solution? It's 11. You can see how you are working with storage now. In Python, you are working with storage. What you have stored there, you are using it to do operation, whether it's multiplication, subtraction, division, or raised to power. You can do anything you want to do with it. Okay, so that is dealing with number type. So you can also deal with floats like that. Floats like let me just say x equals to, I'm storing 4.5 into x now. If you want to check which data type it belongs to, you can use the function called type of. It comes with Python and bracket like this. So if I say type of and I put the value of x inside, it's going to tell me oh, there's an error here. Okay, yeah, I'll print it. Let me say type. Let me see type. Okay, so you can see what I'm doing now. So type is float. It's telling me it's float here. Okay, not type of in this case. Okay, type. So I'm trying to let it define what type is. It's a float. So if I say type, what again? The first one is number. Let me just say 5, for instance. So you can see now it's giving me integers. So if I also say Solomon now, for instance, I say y equals, let me store string here now, Solomon. So I store, then I say type of x. What is y? Y is what is a string, so it's giving me that it's a string. So this is how you can find the data type. Maybe you forget to, you don't know what, you have forgotten what float is, so you just want to check the type. You can check the type using the type function. It is an inbuilt function in Python. Okay, now let's move to the next stage, which is string. Strings I'll move to that in the next class. So thank you very much for this class, for listening to this class. I'll be talking about string in the next class, so do stay tuned. Thank you. Now, you're welcome to this class. My name is Solomon, and I am very glad to have you on this channel. This is Tech with Solo. That is the name of this platform. And if you're interested in Python and learning other programming languages like data science, data analysis, web scraping, and so many things about technology, including mathematics, this is the right channel for you to be. Subscribe, share, and like. Do share with your friends, and I'll be glad if you do that. Okay, so today's class we're going to move straight to string. We're going to be dealing with strings. What's a string? So string is part of the data type I've mentioned in my previous class. If you don't watch my previous video, please do go back to my previous video and watch it so I can get understanding about what string is. Now, a strings, they are just sequence of characters or alphabetical characters or text. You understand? So that is what we are going to look at in this class. Okay, so let me clear this screen now. CLS, you bring up your Python shell. Sorry, CL clear. Let me just it's unable to clear. Okay, let me close it down, or let me just so now let's move straight to what we have now. So now we are looking at string, as I've said. So for instance, let me use type. Let me put in quotes Solomon. You will see that it's going to show me that it's a string. I've said this in my previous class. I'm going to show that it's a string. Now, what I want to deal with string. So let's store a string. Let's call this one. Let me just call it name1. Name1. Let me say Solomon. So I'm storing what? Solomon inside name1. Then I say name2. Let me just say my surname is Ayede. Okay. So let me call that one name. Now, string is there are a lot of operations you can do in string. You can trim a string. You can select certain section of that string. So the first thing I want to tell you about string is what is called concatenation. So concatenation is just an English word like joining two or more things together. It's called concatenation. So we can join these two together. I'm not saying that we are adding it like arithmetic operation. I'm talking about just join. So if I join it now, it's going to be name1. Let me just say name1 plus name. So that will give me Solomon Ayede, for instance. But I can join an empty space there. I can join an empty space that is so that there will be space between my first name and my surname. So if you look at it now, let me just say name1 plus an empty space, an empty quote, which is an empty text there. Then let me add another one again. Let me add name there. So if you check now, you see that is now there's an empty space also added there. You can concatenate different different strings together. I am going to school. Let me just say let me call this one X now. I am going to school. I am going to school. So then Y is equals to I shall be back. I shall be back. Okay, so I can say X plus put an empty string so that there will be space. Then let me add Y. So I am going to school or I shall be back. So you see that I'm concatenating it now. So the next thing we are going to look at in string is I want to trim a string now. So let me take a fresh variable. Let me just call this variable A, or let me call it A. So let me just take this as a kind of, let me store let's say tutorials. Let me say tutorials. Okay, so let me just store tutorials inside variable A. The name of the variable is A and the value is tutorials. So I want to trim the string. Another word for trimming, we say we want to slice it, we want to cut it to pieces. We can say let's take the first two alphabet or the first two character. So what you do is this: you say A. If I say A, Python start counting from position 0. The index, the position of characters start from 0. As a human, we say we start from position 1. The first person is 1, but in Python, the first item is 0. So not 1, 0. So that is just the difference with the computer in this case and the program. So if I say position 0 now, put square bracket like this, it's going to give me the first character in that sequence of characters. Okay, so the next one I can put position 1. So guess now, position 1 will be what is the second character in the sequence, right? That will be, oh sorry, I'm missing it. So position 1, so I have it like this. Okay, you see it's U, right? So if I want to say I want the last one now, the last character there, I'll say position -1. Please, that's how Python goes. -1 gives you the last character. You can get the last character. Second to the last character is -2. So you just watch it and see that. So -2. So that is the second to the last character. So if I want to look range, let me just say the first 3 characters now. I will explain something there right now. So 0 column, just like in Excel. If you do Microsoft Excel, you see Excel, you put column. It's the same thing with this with Python. If it's range, you put, let's say 0 to 3, for instance. You're going to take the 3 values. So in this case now, the first 0, 1, 2, that's what it's going to take. 0, 1, 2, 3 will not be included. Okay, so if you enter, you see it's going to take you to TUT, which is tutorials. You're going to segment 0, 1, 2, which is TUT. Okay, TUT. Yeah, so that is how this slicing of string works. Then if you also want to slice string, maybe you look at it like a let me just say something like this, column like this. If I don't put anything at the end, I'm saying that take from position 0 to the end, right? So you see that it takes everything. So the other one is a also from position, or yeah, let me just say from position like this to, let's say, to -1. So what does this mean? It means from the beginning. The other one means to the end if I don't put anything there. This other one, if I don't put anything at the beginning, it means from the beginning. So from the beginning to position -1, but -1 will not be included, right? Tutorial. So S is not included. Then if you don't do something like this, A, which is the last one I probably meant it with, or yeah, let me see if I could alter some things there too. So the last one, possibly not second to the last also. So this one you have from, if you don't put anything at the beginning, you don't put anything at the end, it means from the beginning to the end.